We find ourselves in the middle of a peculiar political moment where Farage is returning from his holiday. Nice if you can get it. I must say, I don't remember when I last went on holiday. I've only ever gone to places because I've got to work. But, if Mr. Farage can sun himself in Nice, that's nice. And possibly fortified by rosé and resentment. And he's immediately reignited the war of words with Sir Keir Starmer. And this is no ordinary skirmish. This is the battle for the very soul of working-class Britain, fought not with bayonets or ballots just yet, but with benefits, winter fuel payments, and the unmistakable wisp of electoral panic. Farage, now comfortably ensconced as Reform UK's Clacton MP, even if they don't see him much, and self-styled saviour of the disenfranchised, has now accused the Prime Minister of being one of the most unpatriotic leaders in our history. Hyperbole, certainly, but not without its impact. And Reform UK is, according to YouGov, now the most popular party in Britain. Labour is trailing, the Conservatives are collapsing, and the Lib Dems, well, the Lib Dems remain the Lib Dems. The flashpoint? Welfare. Specifically the two-child benefit cap, a policy born under George Osborne's austerity doctrine of 2017, which bars parents from claiming child tax credit or universal credit for a third or subsequent child. It is, in the words of Gordon Brown, pretty discriminatory. And according to the Child Poverty Action Group, it pulls over 100 children a day into poverty. Farage says he'd scrap it, and crucially so does Starmer, sort of. And here lies Labour's bind, because Starmer wants to end the two-child cap, but Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, wants to fund it. And therein lies the difference. The Treasury caution, coupled with Morgan McSweeney's political strategising, has produced a delay. And we'll go back to the Blue Labour later on today if I get an opportunity. The government's much-touted child poverty strategy has been kicked to the autumn budget, conveniently after the party conference season and perhaps after more political polling damage. Perhaps Starmer is attempting to row back on his own winter fuel cut, a reform introduced early in Labour's term which limited payments to those on pension credit. After a disastrous showing in the local elections where pensioners punished Labour in droves, Starmer pledged to restore it to more pensioners. Farage naturally goes further. Restore it all. Restore it all. I'm not shallow. And these are tactical retreats masked as fiscal prudence, but they're also political gifts to Reform UK. And it leaves Starmer standing looking hopeless. Bottom button Starmer looking hopeless. Farage's political instincts remain sharp. He knows that the two-child cap is toxic among Labour's traditional base, particularly in towns where large families, religious minorities or multi-generational households are common, and by positioning himself as the defender of the welfare state, he can appeal both to red wall nostalgia and blue-collar frustration. The irony is thick. The archpriest of Brexit now talks like Barbara Castle. And what is Labour's rebuttal? The reform sums don't add up. That scrapping the cap costs £3.5 billion, restoring fuel payments a further £1.4 billion perhaps, but Farage simply shrugs it off and says, cut foreign aid, close asylum hotels, scrap net zero subsidies. Fantasy economics? Likely. But effective populism? Undoubtedly. Now, faced with this insurgency, Starmer has reportedly told Labour MPs they have a moral responsibility to stop Farage. This is both true and politically tone deaf. Many voters switch to Reform. They don't believe they're committing a mortal sin. They believe they're making a moral stand against a system they see as broken, remote and patronising. What they are doing is making a moral stand against something, not for something. Labour risks... So in fact, if Farage is flag-waving here, he's actually got something that he's offering for these restorations, for getting rid of the cap, for restoring the pension fuel. Farage can suddenly offer something because Starmer has not. For the first time since Brexit, Farage has something to offer. It's not simply a negative. Now, that puts Farage into a very different position. Incidentally, his the photographs announcing this rather slick move come with Farage in a simply striking blazer, and he's not somebody to button his bottom. He's not somebody to button his bottom button. Farage is somebody who knows how to wear a suit and wear it well. Farage, all image, does the image well. Starmer doesn't do image. He doesn't do image at all well. And Labour risks, under Starmer, becoming the party of technocracy and hesitation, while Farage presents himself again as the man who says what others won't. It's a curious reversal. The former protest candidate now sounds like a mainstream reformer. The former human rights lawyer now looks like a cautious accountant. So where does this leave us? The next election will not simply be a referendum on economic competence. It will be a judgment on political courage and the ability to speak plainly to those who feel unheard. Farage has thrown down the gauntlet with policies that Labour once claimed as their own. If Starmer wants to keep this fragile coalition intact, if Starmer wants to keep the Labour Party in power, he may need to do more than tweak benefits. He must show that he still understands the people who once voted Labour because it felt like a cause, not just a calculation. And if he fails, then holiday or not, Farage might find himself unpacking more than just his suitcase.